What does Graham think about Matinpalo's advanced analytics? He hasn't looked good analytically, but it's the preseason. And I know like the last game in particular here, that game doesn't even exist. There's no NHL stats for it.
But even going back to like last year, Wally, Matinpalo's analytics weren't necessarily that flattering, but I think like what gets lost within the conversation, like it's one thing if a guy's like Corsi's not great, like he spends a lot of time in his own zone defending, but I think contextually, if you look at the Senators situation, like whenever you see those numbers, it's like, okay, possession numbers weren't great, but what's the context? You have to add that context to it. And I think with the Senators last year down the stretch, they were missing guys. Like they were missing a ton of guys that were pretty banged up. They weren't playing at a high level. It was just the Sanderson and Zub pairing were faring well, but like Jensen and Shabbat weren't particularly strong because he's dealing with an injury. There's context there. And I think with Clevin and Matinpalo, they took on probably a little bit heavier of a load than they probably needed to. But like his analytics weren't great, but you're also talking about a young player who's experiencing his first taste of the NHL and he's adjusting and adapting to the league. And there's that to consider as well. So I think, you add a year of development and confidence and just familiarity with the team and the system and everything else, that he should theoretically be a better player this year, but it's obviously up to him whether or not he does it. But again, like I'm not worried about the preseason numbers as of yet. It's way too small of a sample size. You're playing with different guys all the time, weak lineups. Like, one game you might be playing like Toronto's best lineup. The next night you're playing a bunch of guys from the Marlies. So how do you evaluate that? Like, so there's a lot of context. Can't get too hung up on the numbers right now. But Matinpalo, based off his play last year, he'll get a chance to start the season with the team, but he might be the seventh guy.